Intuition is a dangerous thing. Humankind has long sought answers, the truth about the stars, ourselves, and all of our reality. Reality defies understanding. Humankind takes shortcuts, leaps in logic, guessworks, acceptance of truths unproven. Reality defies understanding. We use our greatest asset, our intuition, to see the forest without the trees. Overconfidence is a killer. Like a predator evolved to avoid the notice of its prey, the greatest dangers to humanity lurk above and outside of our perception. Reality defies understanding. Yet we try anyways. Intuition is a dangerous thing. Last time, we ended on a bit of a fun note, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. You all talked to poor Billy Spivey. You sort of, had some questions for him, tried to figure out what was going on, all of that stuff, and then after hearing a few things about his experience, which unfortunately weren't terribly helpful, he doesn't seem to remember much, you decided, along with Agent Derringer, that you should all go up to the town of Dorchester once again, this time posing as FBI agents investigating some sort of drug operation here that crossed state borders to the Vermont border just a few miles away. And you would try to find out more, try to figure out what's going on in town, if anyone else is in danger, how to shut whatever's going on down, and so on and so forth. Try to find the truth about what happened to Billy Spivey. And at all costs, don't let this incursion continue. So you went there, and you asked around with a few different places, but eventually settled on trying to investigate Scott Adams, the author of a amateur news site, a newsletter, newspaper, all of that. Specifically based on watching for UFOs. This paper is called Watch the Skies. He is trying to find evidence of the government covering things up, evidence of aliens being real, all that kind of stuff. Big conspiracy paper. He's here in town and he's been investigating people for like a week now, maybe a little longer. And so you thought, since he's asked around a lot, you might be able to get some extra information out of him. He might be a good source of clues here. The rest of you, half the group went to investigate him. The other half went to try and find Jane Allen, Billy Spivey's girlfriend, and perhaps some of his friends as well. Just trying to figure out what's going on with the people around him and see if they could provide any more context to these last few weeks. Those of you who went to investigate Scott Adams found a room completely closed off to the light. It was a strange sight. Everything was sort of disorganized for the most part, but when I say completely closed off to the light, I mean towels under the gaps in the door, light bulbs removed from their sockets just in case they might, by chance, emit any kind of light, socks stuffed into the small window in the bathroom, and so on. Like, every single possible opening for light to get into this room has been closed off in one way or another. And unfortunately, you found Scott Adams in a tub full of blood, still wearing his clothes, but very, very dead and beginning to bloat. You went out to get some evidence bags and things, and when you came back, the large lump you had seen on his head was missing. Instead, there was just a hole leading into his skull, and you could see the brain matter within. And right before we cut off the session, the water in the tub sloshed. But that's not where we pick up. I'm going to let that cliffhanger hang for just a little bit longer, as we are going to go find out what is happening with agents Hunter and Hematite. You two are in the town of Dorchester trying to find any of Billy's family, or I guess his mother, is safe. You've talked to her a little bit over the phone, I believe. His friends are in town. His girlfriend's somewhere, but she's been missing for a bit. Where are you going to start with this investigation? You do know the girlfriend's address. As one more point of information there, just to be clear.
Yeah, if I remember right, we were going to stop by the address and then check in on the kids while we were at it, because there'd been some weird stuff happening at Reservoir Lake, and that's where they went to hang out.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think we should check the house first.
Okay. So you two, while the others went to the motel, you head out of town a short distance, about the same distance from town that Billy's house was, and in fact, it's nearby, as nearby as these, very rural, distant farm homes can be. A few miles away in that direction from Billy's house, and you get to the Allen residence. It's a small, again, farmhouse. It's got a barn out back and a shed, and it's a small, very square building with an angled roof that fits the pattern of most of the other houses in this area. Decent amount of space for how rural it is, and not a very fancy design, but a lot of utility to it. That definitely gets the job done. That kind of building. It appears that here they also grow corn. Let's just to paint it a little deeper. Let's say the house is painted like a very light blue. As you pull
Are
up your
there
vehicle.
any cars in the driveway?
Yeah, there's one kind of aging sedan.
Okay. In that case, I would probably confirm with uh, who was it I'm with? I'm
Hunter.
sorry. Hunter. Okay. I would confirm with they're good to go and then go out and knock on the door.
I get a bit of a shiver as I look at another ordinary looking house. It feels like ordinary looking buildings haven't been terribly ordinary lately, and though I have no specific reason to think anything's going to go wrong, I still fall about a half step behind as I follow Hematite up to the door.
All right. So as you approach, you take a couple steps up onto the porch and you knock on the door. And only about a minute later, it's a decently not an immediate response like somebody was waiting at the door, but a fairly quick response. Um, a woman opens the door and says, "Oh, I'll describe her a little bit. I guess she has blonde hair that is about shoulder length, but kind of flares out at the shoulders, kind of held back by like a headband type deal. Not a headband, like a head. I'm struggling to remember the word, but yeah, there's like a. Never mind. Her hair is held back a little bit to keep it from actually falling in her face. She doesn't have like bangs or anything. And she's just wearing pretty casual, like sweatshirt, sweatpants kind of vibe. And she appears to be in maybe her in her 40s, early 40s. And she opens the door and kind of slowly looks up at you all, but then says, "Oh, hello. Yes. How can I help you? I wasn't expecting visitors."
Is Jane home?
Is Jane home? No, she's not home right now.
Okay. I wanted to check and make sure she was doing all right. We heard from Billy Spivey, who's in the hospital, and I wanted to pass word for her because he gave me a message.
Oh, all right. Yes. Billy's in the hospital. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope he gets better. I can definitely pass along that message. I don't know when she'll be back. It's uh let's see. She starts counting on her fingers. She fills up both hands and she starts counting again.
Do you know where she went?
Uh, no. Why should I'm sorry. I don't know.
Does she
Um,
live at home?
y-
Sorry,
um,
there might have been a
normally.
kind of a misunderstanding here.
No,
So
she
she's not been here for a while, but
no,
you're
no.
not acting like that's out of the ordinary.
No, well, no, she's not been home. She does live here.
Can I use human to see what kind of vibe I'm?
Yes. Oh yeah, give me a human. Um And additionally, do you have any skills related to? Okay, based on that success, she seems more confused than anything. And do you have any skills related to like medicine or anything like that? Like any, um, whether it's medicine or first aid or anything along those lines?
I've got a 10 in first aid and a 10 in survival.
Okay.
Hunter has some skill in first aid and survival. Maybe as he's not necessarily looking at emotions, but maybe like something medically might stand out to him while this conversation's
Yeah.
going on.
How high is his first aid?
40.
40. Okay. So I think you'd both pick up on different things here. Agent Hematite, you notice that this woman appears to be like very confused and not really like fully understanding. Like she's forming thoughts back to you, but they don't seem completely coherent. You know, she's mentioned like, yeah, her daughter lives here, hasn't been home, doesn't know when she'll be back, it doesn't know where she is. Like, it just, there's a whole bunch of disconnects and things you'd think she would probably know, but she doesn't seem to like care. It's like a weird non it's a weird level of a lack of caring, of an apathy.
She's like in shock.
She's like, it's like a pleasant apathy. It's not like a, oh, I don't care, but just like a literally doesn't even register. Um, and then for Hunter, you notice as well that the way she's moving and looking around, like her eye movements and how she's responding and like slowly turning her head towards you all, it almost appears to you like she's under some kind of mild sedative or something.
Hmm. Ma'am, we're to tell the truth, we're uh with the police. We're kind of worried about
Oh,
Jane's safety, to be honest. We wanted to ask her some questions about if if Billy had been acting strange recently, as well as to pass on a message. Everything should be fine. Billy is he is in the hospital and in police custody, so there nothing's there's no danger or anything right now. But it is really uh, it's really needed that we talk to Jane. Could we come in for a minute and uh,
oh,
ask you a
oh,
couple questions?
uh, yes, of course. Yeah, the police. Is there trouble?
Not with Jane, we don't think.
Okay.
It, your family is nothing involving your family, as far as we know.
Well, it probably should involve my family. You've talked to the alderman about this?
I exchange glances with Hematite. Did we hear anything about an alderman?
Um, Joanna is forgetful. Was that the guy who like runs the town?
Yeah. So the Merle is the head alderman, but
Gotcha.
there are the organization of the aldermen, who sort of run the town as well.
Is there a reason we should be talking to the alderman about Billy Spivey?
Oh well, they should really know what's happening in town and in general. Even if
Well,
just
yeah,
for courtesy, of course. You're doing an investigation. And my
we are
husband
performing.
is, yeah.
Your husband, ma'am?
Oh, is one of the aldermen? Yes, he works very hard.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Is he home?
Could we get his phone number? It seems like that'd probably be a good thing
Um,
to have.
well, you could just check in at City Hall. He's been working hard there.
Thank you,
Town
ma'am.
Hall, rather.
Is there
Yeah.
any Oh, go ahead.
Nope, you're fine. I
I was
was filling space.
Yeah, I was asking if it seemed like there were signs of a child living there, like, high schoolers leave messes.
Um, yeah, that's fair. I feel like I don't even need to make you necessarily roll for that. It does appear. Actually, I will have you roll for that. I don't feel like. I mean, there's an argument for human here, I think, but
Search?
yeah, I could say human or search, whichever one you feel like going for here. All right. Yeah, so just looking around this place while you're in here and trying to like really soak in the details and figure out, the specific thing you're looking for, even though you're not like overturning everything and that kind of searching, it's still an element of looking for specific details. And so that is a success. So you see that yes, like for example, the amount of dishes that are on the dish rack outside, like in the kitchen, appear to be consistent with two people regularly eating here. But you also see that like there is a jacket on a hook near the door that appears to be like the fashion that a high school girl would wear. Some sets of shoes that match that kind of detail as well. Some other elements of messes, like you mentioned, around the place that are just a little sloppy that haven't quite been cleaned up yet. But notably, the signs of like the husband of a man living here are pretty reduced. Like the shoes near the door are collecting dust. Um, it doesn't appear that three people live here. It appears that two people live here. Like one of the chairs is also collecting dust. Like so on and so forth.
Hmm. Um, do you know if Jane went towards Reservoir Lake?
Well, those kids are always hanging out there. Maybe it would be a strange time of day to go out there, but um, I suppose they could. It's starting to get late enough, I guess.
All right. Well, we're gonna see if we can catch up with some of Billy's friends, and if we see Jane along the way, we'll send her on home.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, yeah. She just keeps on like trailing off in the conversation, just like staring off.
Thanks. Thank you for your time and consideration. And then I kind of.
Uh, I'd suggest we give her the phone number for the office at the motel and ask her to call there if Jane comes home.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, yes, of course. If she comes home, I'll make sure you all know she's here, and I'll let her know you're looking for her. I really don't know when she'll be back. I think it's been. She starts counting on her fingers again. Uh, let's see. I think it's been. Was it the 13th? Yeah, she left home in a hurry on the 13th. Hasn't been back since then. So it's been a minute. She might be. I don't know where she is. And she says all this with like not a hint of concern in her voice at all.
All right. Uh, well, thank you for your time. Please do call if you have any information or uh, any questions about the investigation. We're trying to be here for you and your family as well as the town. We're trying to get all of this sorted as quickly as possible. Have a good night.
You as well, and good luck on your investigation. And I assume you all head out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hunter,
once we're back in the car, I will share kind of what I noticed and somewhat of my fears about all of this.
yeah, the date that she gave would put it between Billy running away and that'd be after the robbery started, but that's before he killed that guy in the gas station. Uh, I don't know. That's none of this is good. But
No.
you think it? I would think if Billy, did something, I feel like he'd be aware of it. Maybe. It kind of seemed like he'd been aware of other things he'd been doing. It's not like things could get any worse, so I don't think he'd be lying to us.
No, I think if he knew, he would have said something. He was so scared in that hospital. If he had nightmares about killing his girlfriend, he would have said something.
Yeah, so do we go talk to the dad now?
I I'd like to check up with the teenage boys and make sure they're okay.
About what time of day is it?
So you all had dinner a while ago at the diner. It's probably getting like early evening, maybe 7.
And he's still working? I guess it's possible, but doesn't it seem a little weird that somebody working a, like office, like government-ish or kind of town job, still working at, in the middle of the evening?
Yes, and like it really didn't look like he existed in the house all that much.
Maybe we should have asked the last time she saw him too.
I'm not sure if we would have gotten a straight answer.
Yeah. Well, I guess probably better chance of the kids being there, yeah, and I guess we could ask about, kind of in a casual sort of way about the dad.
Yeah.
I'm sure they know who he is, and if something's up with it, I'm sure they'd love to be talking about it.
Yeah. The kids are interested in all of this. They might be troublemakers, but I want to make sure that they stay out of as much as we can.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Then I guess I'll drive us to the reservoir, unless we have something else we want to do first.
All right. So we'll say as you two pull out of that driveway into the back onto the back roads and head back towards town, we'll zoom out and we'll zoom back in on the motel. The stuff has been happening over there.
It certainly has.
So, Agent Hallow, you are in the bathroom. The bathtub water, thick with blood, so deep you cannot see into it, has just sloshed as if something moved around within it. What are you doing?
I am. Let's see. I had said that I had snapped a picture with my camera again, and I immediately back out, close the door behind me, grab the nearest, I don't know, blanket or something, and start shoving it up against the bottom of the door and book it out.
All right. You rush out of that place, blocking the path behind you, and so Agent High Tide, you're outside when Agent Hallow just comes rushing out of the motel into the parking lot.
Would appear something happened in there. Is everything okay?
There was a growth on his brain, and now there's not. I got pictures. There's something moving in the tub. Whatever it is probably connected and is alive, and I don't want to be the next thing it attaches to. Yeah, and he starts flapping the Polaroids to try and get a better look at them to show Agent High Tide.
Did you get an estimate of how long it had been?
Hold on for just a second. If Agent High Tide, as you see these Polaroids, give me a sanity check.
Woo!
Okay. We roll, we get a failure, we roll.
Okay, so the Polaroids were of his actual like head with the lump, and then the head without the lump, right? Is that the basic? And then like obviously the surroundings as well, but I think that was the 2 pictures taken.
Yes. There was
Okay.
one with the growth on his head and one with it not on his head.
Okay. So High Tide, you're going to take 2 points of sanity here. And I think this will be from the this will be mostly from. No, it would be unnatural. I think it would be unnatural for the first one and helplessness for the second point, basically, from seeing just this or violence, technically, from seeing this dead body. So you can add 1 check to your violence box, and you'll take 2 sanity total.
Wait,
Sorry.
did
I
you
explained that
say
super
one was
confusingly.
helpless? Yeah.
One was violence, because you saw like a very, very dead body, and that counts as
Oh,
violence,
okay.
I'm pretty sure.
And then did I mark one for helplessness too?
No, I mistook that. The helplessness roll was earlier. This is different. So no, nothing for helplessness, but yes to violence. Always yes to violence.
Well, this sends a shiver down my spine, and I'll say, oh, that's very disturbing. I can see why he ran out of there.
Yeah, I did not want anything to do with what was going on there. Whatever it is also still in there. Probably, I don't know, maybe this guy was right to block the light. It seems, I don't know, maybe. Did you find anything on the computer?
Have I found anything on the computer?
Yeah, give me a I actually don't necessarily think this requires a test, but I just want to double make sure. No. Okay, so at this point, I think at this point you've broken in just by the amount of time that's passed. It wasn't actually like a computer that was super heavily locked. And in fact, it appears to the contrary, actually, now that I'm double checking my notes even further. Not only was it not locked, it was left on and appears to have been like just left alone in the middle of it being used, and like somebody just got up and walked away from it. So now that you've sat down with it, you started browsing through it. Is sort of the time you've been spending here, and like trying to find files of note, trying to find things that might be interesting here. It appears that Adams really used this thing mostly for taking notes on the things he was working on and for writing his newspaper articles and things. So there wasn't too much to browse through. You could just browse through all the things he was writing and just go to the most recent ones that were about this town. And so you do find a few things. The most recent thing you find is a file simply labeled SZE, T, all lowercase. And I will put a screenshot of the text contents of that file in Discord for you. And I'll read out the first 2 lines of it at least, just to give some content here. I am wondering about the possibility that the brain translates information in terms of the extrasensory, and that's why it achieves intuition and common sense. For evidence of ESP, or extrasensory perception, look for coincidences, especially within words of significance. If I leave you with a few words that are significant to me personally as examples, if you write down the word of choice, underline the letters OI of choice, and underneath insert the binary code that's 01, of course, you will see that the difference between the I and the 1 is a number with no head on it. It just starts to devolve into madness. The grammar starts to fall apart. The writing starts to fall apart. He just starts to go on these weird tangents. It gets more and more nonsensical as you read down it, and you can see that in the post.
Okay, so he went a little nuts, it looks like.
I would definitely look for the person who he was writing about before this. If it was an interview or just talking to people.
Absolutely. So the next most recent file that was accessed here within the time frame that he would have been here is a file. It's an audio file simply titled message, and you open it up and it actually opens up into an audio editing program. It appears that he was recently tinkering with it and trying to figure out something with it, but it appears some filters have been applied to the audio, including like a reverse filter. And it's now that all these filters have applied to it, it sounds audible. So you click play on it, and it's like a garbled, staticky recording of something. It sounds like you can hear like in the background there's the noises of what appears to be like, you play it forwards first before you apply all the filters, and you can hear like this garbled sound that is gibberish, and you can hear in the background like the sound of somebody breathing. You can hear the sound of like outdoors, like crickets chirping and things like that. It almost sounds to you like somebody heard this on a radio at night somewhere and just turned on their recording device next to the radio to try and capture it, even though there's a bunch of background noise, if that makes any sense as a description. And then that whole thing was taken, reversed, a bunch of filters were applied to it so that the actual message coming through the radio could make sense. And so all those background noises get distorted in the meantime, and they become really weird, creepy sounding background noises, but you hear the main message, at least some part of some message being sent to someone. And it's like a metallic voice of weirdly like squeaky. It sounds like more filters were applied to that voice, and he was unable to completely strip all the filters off of it. So the voice is unrecognizable, but it is speech. It says, "Dealing with a bunch of garbled noises. Has a long time. We have many things to do. You are not sure what you are doing. Stop now. Stop now. Stop now." And it just repeats until eventually the audio recording cuts off.
Okay, and it was only one voice?
Yes, it appeared to be like a broadcast over a radio or something.
Is there a date on it?
This file, yes, it has a date. It was the 9th.
Oh, that's the night Billy ran away.
Another file that you find in this time span, after you listen to that file and start looking through there's one text file, which is called the Dorchester Notebook, and it is just like a plain text record of just things that Scott Adams was just writing down when he was questioning people. It doesn't appear like super detailed notes. But I can send that file as well, and then I'll go over some highlights. So he goes over like records of a few different people who have reported to him that they saw livestock mutilations, and like what kind of animals they were. He's got some data, like there's chickens, there were cows, but some of the numbers are kind of hard to tell what he meant by them, because it's just somebody else's notes, There was like livestock alterations. So like one person said that they had a cow that was missing an udder but seemed fine otherwise. Weird. Stuff like that. He records a few different people that he interviewed that had one of those like sleepwalking episodes, which he calls here missing time. He records a couple places that, or actually specifically one place that a few different people saw chopper sightings on the 6th. And then some people saw lights in the sky, some weird colorful lights, but it's hard to verify. One person saw crop circles, so he went to interview that person, it appears. And then there's a note at the end that says J.A. P, 3 weeks equals 6 months, that was the letter P. Refuses RX. Got a room for her at the Shut-Eye. And then Allen, Barn, Thomas, Jacobs, Cartwright, and Anderson never go home is the final thing in the note.
Are any of those the lead aldermen that we've heard of?
Yes. So you would have heard of the names of the aldermen at this point. We mentioned earlier that I guess you all wouldn't have known that Jane's father, Mr. Allen, is one of the aldermen, but also Merle Barn is the head alderman, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so we would at least have recognized him as being one of the leads of the town.
Yes, so you at least would have seen. I think, yeah, you probably would have gotten some information on the alderman at this point. So yes.
Wow, it's looking like our suspicions are real.
Wow. You gotta hit the wow button.
Oh, sorry. Wow. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. So that's all you find on the computer as of now. All the other files are older stuff from previous towns he's gone to and different places he's investigated and are dated months and months ago. Some of them years ago and so on.
Okay, well, I would take the computer and put it into my backpack.
All right.
We're at Merle Shut Eye, right? That's the name of the motel we're at?
That's correct.
Hey, High Tide. Where's
Yeah?
the other room that's already occupied? Do you remember?
I don't remember, no.
So, yeah, so you all took up the rooms like near the end of the row. I think it was 8 through 11 or something like that. Room 5 is the room you're in now. Room 4 was also occupied.
We need to get into room 4.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to check.
So that might be Jane.
I say we keep the gas masks on too after.
Yeah,
Well,
who knows if she's also got something going on. I
well, we
am
should
also
go.
suspicious of our rooms and the air conditioning systems. Oh no.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, we should go talk to the woman at the front desk. Probably without our gas masks, and go ask for a room key.
all right, what's her story for that one though? Because if we tell her anything about what we just saw in there, she is going to call the alderman.
That's true.
Uh, Here, I'm just gonna knock on maybe we just knock on the front door of room 4.
Yeah, we should try that first.
All right, so Hala will approach the door to room 4 and start knocking on it.
You
Hello?
knock on the door. Yes.
Are we still able to hear movement in room 5, or
Hear
I don't think we've
movement
been listening.
within room 5. I mean, it's pretty quiet right now. So yeah, I guess no movement.
okay? I know that there was the thing crawling out of the tub.
Yeah, there's something in the tub moved for sure.
Yeah.
So you knock on door 4, and after a moment, the blinds on the window next to the door are kind of pulled aside, and you see someone's eye look out at both of you.
I just hold up my FBI badge.
All right.
Hi, we're here from the FBI. We're here to help out. Got a couple of questions for you about what's been going on.
Give me a persuade roll.
All right. Oh, and I'm good at those.
He closes the blinds to the window, and that's that.
Did they look terrified, or did it look normal?
Give me a human to roll. Actually, you know what? No. I think you know what, with the success, we'll keep it. I was gonna say you probably would have a high enough human score that I'll just give this to you, so it's perfect. You just at the quick glance at her, she seemed it appeared to be a woman, and she seemed extremely paranoid, and like very very frightful at your approach.
Is your name by any chance Jane? We just want to ask some questions and try to figure out what's going on.
We found Billy. He's in the hospital. He's safe.
You hear the click of a lock on the inside of the door, scraping aside. The door starts to open a little bit. You found Billy? He's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, well, okay is a strong word, but he's alive. He's getting better.
Oh, good. Good. Oh, good. Okay. He's gonna be okay. He's gonna okay. Listen, could you do me a huge favor and give me some food? I'm so very hungry. And this whole time she's holding the door open like only an inch. And there's still like a chain over the door holding it at that inch level.
Yeah, I think we can get you some food. I don't think. Do I have anything in my car for this? I don't know.
Oh, um, something real heavy. I'm real hungry. Please.
Uh, is it safe for you to come out? Can we take you to the diner?
No.
Okay, okay. Just
So,
we're not
uh,
entirely sure of the safety of the shut eye either, but as long as you're safe so far in there, that's okay.
Have you seen Mr. Adams? It's been a few days.
We have not seen him.
Oh, he was bringing me food, and I just ran out today. Oh no, he's okay. She's starting to breathe faster and faster, like clearly starting to panic.
Hey, it's okay. We'll go get you some food. Will you be okay to talk to us about what's been going on after we do that?
Yeah, food first. Yeah.
All right. Hey, High Tide, do you want to go get some food? I don't think we should leave her alone.
yeah, I'll go get her some food. I probably have some sort of maybe like a small snack or something in my backpack that I can probably hand her and say, "Hey, this will maybe do for until I get you some food."
All right. She like snatches it through the door, and you can hear her immediately like tearing it open. It appears she's like starving.
All right, I will be back, Hallow. And I'll go over to the diner and buy, I'll say 2 plates.
All right. So High Tide heads to the diner. You get some food takeout. In the meantime, Hallow, you're at the door there, and she eventually, like, she maybe leaves the door open a little bit so you can talk with her a little bit, but she's not willing to answer. After a few minutes, you find she's not really willing to answer many questions and just keeps asking, like, how long till the food gets back. So you kind of settle in to wait unless you have other things you'd want to ask.
Um, yeah, I'll still try to ask her a couple of like, where was the last time you saw Billy and stuff and things of that nature? Like, where was the last time you saw him? Because we know that he was last seen, leaving with you for a date, and
When's the food gonna get here again? I finished the snack.
it'll be just a couple of minutes. Don't
Okay,
worry.
thank you.
He's on his way back.
She's you can tell she's like almost crying the way she's talking.
Can I get a better look at her through the crack in the door if I, give it some effort?
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that she hasn't also been,
Yeah. That's valid.
because
What skill would be
she
good
is
for that?
acting a little bit strange. Like Billy was constantly in pain. Maybe she's constantly hungry.
Right.
Maybe
honestly,
humans to read her.
Yeah, I think human could be good, especially if you're like trying to angle her in conversation in a way that lets you get a better look at her, things like that. I think that makes sense for human, because it's not just an insight skill; it's like a good at getting information out of people skill, basically, like almost a people manipulation skill, a questioning skill, so on and so forth. So that makes sense, yeah.
Aye.
So you try to get a better angle on her, but she's just very scared and it's hard. And so she stays in the shadow of the door. She stays out of sight. She's only like letting an eye linger out of the crack in the door, things like that. But while you're sitting there waiting, and while High Tide is off getting food, you eventually Like there's a lull in the conversation, and you're just waiting patiently. And it's starting to get. It's not like dark out. It's not that late in the year yet for 7 p.m. to get that late. But the sun's going down a bit, and it's starting to get a little darker. And you can see on the edge of the street, like on the sidewalk at the edge of the parking lot here, is a very young boy, maybe 8 years old, who's just wearing like very dirty, kind of raggedy clothes. He's got hair that clearly is in need of a haircut for a while, and it's also like got dirt and stuff in it. And it's all ruffled up and tangled. And he's just standing there on the side of the road, staring right at you.
Don't like that.
Staring. Dead stare, not moving a muscle.
Jane, close the door.
She quickly closes it, and you hear the lock, the deadbolt.
I slowly shift over to the back of my car because it is parked with the trunk towards the door of my room. Pop it open. It's just... I'm not looking away from the kid, but I'm prepared for if it does anything sketchy.
Yeah, so you keep your eye on the kid as you move to a different position here, and the kid's head just turns to follow you. Like, it doesn't move its body at all. This young boy, he doesn't shift his posture, but his head just tracks you with his eyes staring dead ahead, following you the whole way. How long do you stand there?
He's going to stand there, and he'll stand there for a few minutes until he feels like if High Tide isn't back by now, something is definitely weird going on. And he'll withdraw the shotgun from the back trunk of the car and just stand at the ready in front of Jane's door.
All right, so you pull out the shotgun. You can hear rustling in the blinds of the window behind you, as Jane probably got a better angle to see what you're doing, saw you draw this weapon, and is now very panicked. But you have other priorities right now. This kid watches you get the shotgun, watches you move back over to the door, and continues to just stare right into your eyes.
Yell over. What do you want, kid? You're being real weird.
The kid does not respond. It makes no emotional response at all, no acknowledgement that he was even spoken to.
We have cell phones, right? Yeah, we do. He's gonna call High Tide.
You pull out that cell phone. You ring for High Tide. No response.
Does it even connect, or is it just ringing continually?
It does. I mean, it connects and rings, but it's like it never gets picked up.
Yeah. All right. It's gonna fish a rock up out of the gravel and just kind of huck it over. Just not trying to hit this. He's pretty sure it's not a kid at this point, but he's not trying to just fire away without being sure. He's going to try and land it nearby, or just kind of plink it off of his chest.
Yeah, you scoop down to pick up a rock. You maintaining eye contact, or just looking at the kid generally while you do?
Just looking at him generally.
All right, you just look in his direction, or scoop down, pick up a rock, a little piece of gravel or something. You toss it over in his general direction. Still no response. He just watches you go down. You can see his head turn to watch you go down, and then when you stand back up, its head turns back up again.
All right, I'll approach it.
Okay. You start to step slowly up towards this child, and he watches you approach. His head tilts up as you get closer because you're much, much taller than he is. But other than that, his posture doesn't change at all. In fact, now that you're pretty close, it appears that his head is kind of at an uncomfortable angle. It doesn't look like, unnatural yet, but it's like near the extreme of what a human neck should be able to do. It's not past the extreme, but it's obviously straining.
So once he's within a few feet of it, he'll ask again, "What are you doing here? Tell you're not natural, so what do you want?"
The child raises his left hand, points out an index finger, and points back at room number 5, still looking at you.
"You want the thing in there?" You'll fish around and pull up the picture of the thing that was on the reporter's head. This thing?
There's a sudden burst of movement as this child has been standing very still. He just reaches up to snatch that picture out of your hand. You can give me a dodge roll if you want to try and get away from him before he grabs the picture.
Yeah. Dodge. No, he gets the
So
picture.
you're taken off guard by the ridiculous speed of this kid who was perfectly still for this long. You're not like letting your guard down so much, but you're not expecting him to move that swiftly after all this. And so when he reaches up and just grabs that picture from you, and then he takes off into a sprint down the road.
Huh. What the fuck was that?
You just let him run?
I don't think I'm gonna. I'll chase. I'm carrying a shotgun. I'm not gonna chase him down the road. Uh, I will chase for just until to see if he goes around a corner or something.
All right. So you keep up with him, just trying to see where he goes. He heads down the street, just like in the direction of like the middle of town, like the downtown area, kind of down towards the diner. But he doesn't go directly in the direction of the diner. He just goes downtown. He just kind of stays along this main road for a while. So he doesn't really go around any corners for a bit. Do you chase him all the way into downtown?
If I find a shrub on the way to just stash the shotgun in, yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's definitely it's a very wooded area. So alongside this road, you just kind of step off to the side and the shoulder of the road, and then there's trees like 15 feet off from there. So you just head over there, chuck the shotgun in the woods. You're hoping the underbrush will just take care of it, take a note of what the tree looks like that you threw it under, and keep chasing. He heads off into town, just keeps going, and then eventually turns down the road behind the church. And so you follow him that way. You go around the corner. And even though the church building is at the end of a road all by itself, and he went around the corner, once you get to that corner, he's gone.
So he disappears behind the church?
Yep.
Okay. He takes note of that and sprints back to the inn.
All right. You head back to the shut-eye, taking your shotgun along the way, trying to avoid notice of anyone now that you've clearly armed again. But not many people are out at this point in the night, it seems, and you're heading back out into a more secluded part of town, so it's not too hard. You make your way back, and High Tide is still not back.
All right. He knocks on. Well, first things first, he knocks on Jane's door and lets her know that, hey, the creepy thing out there's gone now. I'm going to stay outside your door just in case. My friend's still not back. I'm going to try and check in on him. And he tries to call High Tide again.
All right. As you calm down from that situation as well, please give me a sanity roll.
Yippers.
Yippers. Ooh, okay.
Oh, I am just failing everything.
1 sanity from the unnatural.
All right.
All right, you're gonna call High Tide again? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Your phone rings.
Just
Response does not connect, or well, it's not like the phone is out of service, but no one picks up the phone.
what is going on?
Have I died?
He puts away his shotgun, gets his pistol back, and lets Jane know he's going to go check on the diner where his friend's supposed to be, and I hope I'll be back.
All right, you head off in the direction of the diner, hoping to find High Tide along the way, and we'll zoom out from that situation and back to Hunter and Hematite. You two were heading to the reservoir, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah,
All right.
because that's where the kids hang out in the evenings, right?
Yeah,
That's what
that's
we've been
like
told.
the teen hangout spot kind of deal. Here, let's do that one.
They really did take the Chevy to the levee. Hopefully it's
Indeed.
not a ride, though.
So you get yourself over to the reservoir lake, and you do see that you pull up your car like down that dirt road leading there. There's a small beach on this side of the lake where you can see several teens are currently gathered. It appears somebody has lugged like a grill out here, like a small grill, and is currently just grilling meat on it. A bunch of people are kind of gathered around like a very small thrown together campfire, which doesn't appear to be in any real fire pit. It looks like they just kind of threw some logs on the beach and called it good. And there are absolutely a lot of drinking going on. There are people swimming. There are people out, just chatting and just doing teen activities. Just nothing crazy. It's just it's clearly like a party being thrown here.
So you talked with these kids earlier, right?
Actually,
Yes.
Hematite, you do a quick scan of the crowd and don't recognize any faces.
That's a little unsettling.
Well, what?
None of these are the kids we talked to.
Oh. Huh. You think they're avoiding it? Or you think it's just bad luck?
I'm gonna go ask. Is there like a kid who's a little further away? Maybe somebody like drunk spacing out kind of deal?
Yeah, we'll say there's somebody who's kind of separated from the group and is currently just like lying down, like not quite asleep. It looks like, but it looks like they kind of drank themselves to the point of almost falling asleep.
Okay.
Everyone else
Yeah,
just kind of
'cause
left them there.
I don't want to be like an authority figure coming to bust the party, but I do want to talk to one of the kids.
Yeah. So this guy's on the ground, kind of like almost passed out.
Should I stay
will-
behind? You think it'd be better if it's not like two people approaching somebody? Or I could go try to talk to somebody else, maybe.
I guess keep an eye in case this goes south.
Okay, I'll keep the engine running.
Because the last kid we tried to reason with tried to kill us.
Yeah, that's a good point. Be careful.
So I will go shake the drunk kid a little bit. Just, shake his
Ugh.
shoulder.
Oh, what's up? Hey,
Hey, have you seen? Joanna doesn't remember the kids' names, but let's say Hematite does.
They had a Kyle.
Kyle and
Oh, those kids?
Billy's
Yeah.
old crew?
Yeah, I think Kyle was the main name you got, and then the rest of the kids, I don't think gave like specific names, but
Okay.
Kyle. Bumped into him at the video store earlier today. Was I yesterday?
Was he gonna come out here?
Oh no, he said he wasn't feeling so good.
So he went home?
Yeah. Probably at home. I don't know. He just said he wasn't coming. I don't know why you wouldn't want to come here. It's great.
Do I need to roll anything, or is this kid clearly too drunk to?
I
make up a
think
story?
I would require a 20% human or higher to tell that yeah, he's just too drunk to try and make anything up right now. So you're definitely over that. So
Okay. All right. Well, be safe and don't. You might want to sit closer to the others. Some weird shit's been going down in this town. Weird even for you guys.
yeah, he seems like taken aback by your sudden concern, and it kind of seems weird in this situation. Just because like all these teens at this party, you're giving off cop vibes now, even if you're not actually, you know what I mean. You're giving off responsible adult vibes to this exclusively teen party here.
Yeah. And then I will get up and head out.
All right. Some of the teens, you definitely drew some heads as you approached. Like they're just kind of puzzled, and a few fingers were pointed in your direction as perhaps a little round of gossip started. Of like, who is that person? Does anyone recognize her? Like, what's going on here? Why are they okay? They're leaving. Whatever. Nothing to that kind of stuff. That kind of chatter goes around. And yeah, so you head out from there. You get back in the vehicle with Hunter.
All right. Well, Kyle wasn't feeling good last this kid saw him, which might have been today, but also he's drunk as a skunk. So sorry, artist talking. Um. Yeah, I don't know how reliable his sense of time is because drunk, but he was at a video store somewhat recently and decided not to come tonight because he wasn't feeling good. So that's
Huh.
at least two kids related to Billy who are not where they're supposed to be.
That's not great.
Should we go back to the hotel and see if we can find Billy's address or
Find Billy's address?
oh, not Billy, sorry, Kyle.
Oh, the other. I don't know. It feels like we're just gonna be running around, like, just chasing people. It's getting late. Like, I don't want to stop, but like, I kind of don't have any faith that going to somebody else's house is gonna uh, give us any more information at this point. Oh yeah, did you ask about the alderman? About the dad?
No, I didn't think bringing up parents at a party would go over super well.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So I guess head back to the motel then?
Yeah, we maybe what did you say about if we like went by the offices and at least like tried to talk to the dad or see if he's like even still there? Like at this
Worth a
point, I
shot.
don't even know if he's still around. I don't know that we can trust anything the mom said.
Yeah, stop by the offices on our way back to the motel and catch up. I think it's time we regroup and see if we can start tracking some of these kids down.
Yeah, let's get to it. And I guess we'll drive off.
All right, so you're heading to town hall. Sounded like.
Yes.
So you guys drive there. It's actually kind of in the direction of is in the direction of the reservoir, like on that side of town. So it's a pretty quick drive. You make your way over there. Probably getting to be closer to 8 at this point, since you've driven across town and back a few times, going to a few different locations. But you get there. Definitely a weird hour for city officials to be up working, but everyone so far has claimed that people are here working. So you park out in the parking lot, and there are indeed actually no, there are no cars in the parking lot when you get there.
Damn it.
Are there lights on in the building?
There are lights on in the building.
So they're probably doing some kind of like a town hall meeting. You think we should bust in right now, or you think this is a bad time for it?
I don't know. I do not know how adults do things, and I'm not
Yeah, I
a
don't
fan of
either.
organized government, so I think you'd probably have better luck with this one because they would write me off as the type of person who comes to town halls to raise a fuss.
Yeah, you got that right.
Probably because I've done that before.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna. I just want to see if the dad's like here and still working. I'll be right back. So I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna make my way very uncertainly to the front door, being less sure of myself with every step I take.
All right.
I hover with my hand like over the door for a minute, like looking around, hoping that maybe I'll see a sign that says that they're not open right now, so I can just go back to the vehicle.
You head up to the front door, and it says appointments only on a little
Well,
sign.
I guess that's that. We'll have to call, make an appointment, and I'll run back to the vehicle. We can't talk to without an appointment. Oh well.
Should I make Rowan roll sanity checks versus social events? Perfect. But no.
I will roll
my
my
humint
eyes.
is 10, by the way.
I'll roll my eyes, sigh dramatically, and say, "All right, I guess I'm gonna be that person again." And I will get out of the car, stride with a purpose, and bang on the door.
All right, you bop 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 up against the door. So you're about to hit the door for the third time. You hear footsteps inside, very loud, brisk ones, as somebody is like rushing up to the door. And you hear a lock being unbolted inside, and the door swings open. And you see a man in probably his 40s or early 50s standing in the door, but he's kind of pale. It looks like he hasn't really gotten sunlight in a while. That kind of pale, not like super sickly pale, but like, yeah, he's just really not gotten sunlight in forever. It also appears perhaps he hasn't showered in a while. He's kind of greasy in a few places, but he's wearing like a decent, not like a business suit, but kind of in that direction. He's got a suit jacket on, but it's not quite as fancy as like a full suit would be. He's wearing like khakis underneath, that kind of thing. He's starting to go bald, and he's wearing these little glasses on his face as well. He opens the door and he says, "Yeah, how can I help you? We have appointments only. We're very busy."
At this hour?
Well, you see, it's tax time for our county. There's much work to do.
It's September.
Well, the county has weird rules. I know it's how it works.
As far as I know, everybody follows the federal rules because that's how the federal government works. So try again.
Well, you could take it up with the county if you want. We're not here to fight the county. We're just here to do the rules and just keep doing what we're doing.
I will do that. And I'm going to, stride in.
Just push into the building?
Yeah.
All right. So you
Unless
find
somebody
like
checks
a...
me.
No, he kind of stumbled. It seems surprised by you entering the building. Like, miss, we can't. You gotta. Why are you here? And as you enter the room, you see it's just like a reception hall. Basically, there's like a front desk that is gathering dust. It's got a little computer monitor on it and a bunch of different. You see like some filing cabinets tucked to the side of it and things like that. There's some places to sit. There's like a public bathroom or two out here in the front. Some plants that clearly have not been watered in a long time and have wilted. But yeah, like a front reception hall here.
I will go in and say, all right, which one of you is Jane's father?
Oh, so there's no one else in here at the moment. You just see this guy, but he will say, "Oh, I'm Jane's father. If you're talking about Jane Allen, I'm Mr. Allen."
What are you doing here when your daughter's missing?
It's very busy tax season right now. It's listen, we really don't have time for this. We're very busy. And we're just always working here. Ask anybody. It's just what we do.
I don't see anybody to ask.
Well, not us. We're all busy working. I'm out here answering your questions. Everyone else is working.
Where?
Listen, miss, you really got to go. We're busy. You need to make an appointment if you want to talk with us, and then we can have a good conversation. I'll answer your questions. We do want to cooperate, and I'm sure you're concerned. Well, you're not from this town. I know it's just not that. I know pretty much everybody here. A concerned citizen of a fellow town. Whatever concerns you have, we'll answer them tomorrow. Just call and make an appointment.
And your daughter?
I'm sure she's fine. He answers like very curtly and quickly.
Does he seem like a business version of his wife?
Ah, I see what you're saying by that. Give me a human check. Ooh, a narrow success. It doesn't seem the same. No, he doesn't like appear sedated or anything. He doesn't necessarily appear to be, like all the care has just been removed from his brain or anything like that. Like all the worry has been removed from his brain. Probably a better way to put it. But on the other side of things, he just seems like really focused, like obsessed with something. Basically, he seems like he's trying to get you out because he needs to get back to what he's doing. He's like almost sweating more as he talks to you. Like he really just needs to get back to what he's doing.
All right. Well, I will say, I would like to speak to your supervisor. That is criminal negligence of your daughter.
That would be Merle. You can talk to. You know what? You make an appointment. You can talk to Merle tomorrow. He's very busy, but
look,
we'll make an exception.
Concerned, I will talk to Merle tonight.
Take it up with the county. He starts to push you out of the building.
Past.
No, he grabs your shoulders and starts pushing you out. You can try to contest it if you want, but he's definitely pushing.
Do I see this through the door?
Can I say, like, in a loud voice, Mr. Merle, Mr. Merle?
You can do that. You're gonna do that instead of resisting, basically.
Yeah.
Mr. Merle, Mr. Merle, or maybe like Merle Barn in there a few times.
And then I think I'd probably say something like, "How do you feel about hiring a negligent father?" or something like that.
Yeah, so you're just shouting a bunch of things like that as you're getting thrown out of the establishment. Hunter, all the windows appear to be shuttered, but through the door, I don't know. Give me an alertness test. Nah, it's too tricky. They went around the wrong corner inside. You're just kind of unlucky. Don't have a good angle on it. You'd have to go up and get closer to the building again, which is scary. So you don't have a good angle on it.
Scary.
But you do see eventually, Hematite is shouting these things, but you don't really seem to be getting a response. And this alderman, Mr. Allen, is pushing you out of the building. He says, all right, make an appointment. Call. You know what? You don't even need to call. What time's good? Noon? He shoves you out the door, like puts his foot on the inside of the door.
And I'll say, I will be there at noon, and this Merle better be there too. And then I will turn on my heel and stride up.
He slams the door.
How'd it go? I can't believe you just went in there. They said no appointments.
Well, I've got an
Or
appointment
only
for noon
appointments.
tomorrow.
Wow. Oh, I don't know what to say. That's incredible.
I seriously hope that dude is under some form of influence, because otherwise I am going to wring his neck.
Oh, so was her dad in there, or was it somebody else?
That was her father.
Oh, huh.
And he's
Well,
sure his daughter is just fine and has important work to do because it's tax season.
well, I guess at least he's alive. His wife wasn't just completely delusional about that.
That is, yes, that is good. We'll see. I bet anything this Merle is in on it somehow.
Yeah, it does seem like everybody is just kind of letting him make all the decisions. I wonder if we're gonna meet him sometime soon, and how
My
bad of a
appointment
thing that's
tomorrow
gonna
is
be.
with him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess we should go back to the motel now. Nothing more we can do here.
Yes, and we've got an early morning. I plan to be at least an hour early, so there's no way they can surprise me or duck and run.
That just sounds like so awkward. Like you're just gonna sit there and just like be there for an hour.
Either I wait or I catch them red-handed. Either way, not a problem for me. Definitely a problem for them.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. And we'll drive on back.
All right. So you're heading back to the motel?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah.
Catch up with the others? All right. So we'll snap back in on Hallow then. Hallow, you went to the diner in search of High Tide. But you traveled the short trip there, went down the roads you probably would normally take if you're headed in this direction. Check inside the diner. No sign of him. You go back, maybe check a few other roads that he could have taken on the way here, see if he like went down a side road or something, or what. No sign of him so far. What are you doing?
I call hematite.
It goes through.
Hey, hematite,
Jordan does
I've
it go
lost
through.
Tide.
Oh, yes, it goes through. Sorry.
Sorry. Wanted to confirm I get the
That
call
is
before I
fair.
answer.
Very fair question.
Hey,
As if this day can't get any worse.
I do have some good news though. I found Jane. We found Jane.
Oh, she's alive? Her father is a fucking idiot.
Well, I've got some bad news for you too. Noted on that. I'm sure there's a story there. But your friend, the reporter, he's kind of super dead.
It was bound to happen eventually. Trying
Uh,
to get resigned to either dead or disappeared when you go into his line of work.
yeah, there's a couple other weird things going on over here. I'm gonna head back to the hotel. I don't want to get split off and have whatever happened to High Tide happen to me, so I'll meet you there.
Yeah. Oh, and the kids weren't at the reservoir either.
Oh, that's not great.
Kyle said he wasn't. Kyle, the one I talked to, who seems to be the leader in Billy's absence, apparently told one of the kids there he was feeling sick.
That's not good.
No, so Rather than try and chase down all these kids' parents, I wanted to rejoin and see if we can maybe try and track this thing to its root.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and we need to get Jane some food. She's starving in her room. High Tide was going to the diner, but he wasn't in there when I checked. I didn't ask anyone about him. Just didn't want to set off any alarm bells, but
We'll stop by the bar then. Buddy system, get some greasy bar food.
that'll work. Yeah, a hamburger and fries or something.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I'll be guarding the rooms.
All right.
Hangs up and jogs back to the hotel.
All right. So after a little bit of time, all of you make your way back to the hotel. It probably takes Hallow just a minute to jog there. In the meantime, Hematite gets the food and heads over, and we'll say you all arrive at roughly the same time, coming from different directions. And as you approach the parking lot of the motel, you see a man. A familiar man. A man named High Tide, standing in the parking lot, just kind of staring vacantly at the road nearby, with food in his hands.
I will go up to him and say, "You gave us quite a fright. Answer your phone next time."
Am I able to respond, or am I just out
Yep.
of it?
You're good.
What do you mean? I just went to go get some painkillers and some food for Jane.
Yeah, and you didn't answer your phone.
It
It's
didn't
been-
ring.
I
As I
called.
looked down at it.
You have a couple missed calls.
Maybe it did ring, and
You're
I
just
just
standing
didn't
here
notice it.
staring out, man.
No, I just got back with the food.
You gave me a real fright. I thought you had gotten sleepwalked or something. So,
I've only been gone a little bit, haven't I?
so you went to the diner and then you went to where? The pharmacy?
Well, I stopped at the pharmacy first to pick up some painkillers because, didn't want the Billy thing to happen again. And then I went to get some food and came right back here.
Did you take any painkillers?
Is the bottle in my hand open?
Nope, still sealed.
I flip it over and no, I didn't take anything. All I did was go get some painkillers and get some food. Hasn't even been that long.
Hey, just because things are really weird, I'm gonna give you a once over, make sure that everything's, all right. If that's all right with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. Hasn't been that long, but sure.
And Hallow's gonna start giving him like a pretty in-depth pat down, like checking his pockets, like the seams of his clothes for anything weird.
All right, yeah, give me a search roll. You find a very large flashlight he has on hand. He just keeps in a pocket.
I immediately snatch it from your hand.
All right, well, shit, you're missing time. One of those two places is suspicious. Well, we'll deal with that in a minute. Let's get that food to Jane.
Everybody give me a sanity roll. At the assertion that High Tide is missing time.
293s in a row.
Count for
We
something.
both
That's
have the
also
same
in the
target, too.
90s twice in a row.
Rip.
Oh yeah, I was referring to a cook. Yeah, Hunter and
Oh,
High
yeah,
Tide. We
look at
both
that.
had target 34, both got 93.
And if I
So-
don't,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So, you, those of you who failed take 1 point of sanity damage, except for High Tide. You're going to take 1d4 of unnatural. You're reminded of the time that you lost time previously, and you're starting to wonder, like, wait, has it been longer than that time? And like that, those thoughts keep echoing through your mind, like, yeah, wait, this has happened before. I have lost time before. Oh, did it happen again? You know, and you're starting to wonder, what does this mean? Are you going to start losing time more and more? And you start to panic more. Those of you who succeeded, you're fine. So Garrett's going to take 2, and Rowan's going to take the 1 point of sanity damage from the unnatural.
How does it go projecting stuff onto your bonds? Because this would be a second break for me.
Ah, yes. So, roll a d6, I believe it is. I can double check that, but I think that's what it is. Projecting onto bonds, it's a d4. It's a d4. A 4. Okay, so you reduce the sanity damage, you don't take any. But subtract you subtract 4. Yes. Okay, double checking how this works. Subtract 4 from a bond of your choice, whichever bond you're going to project this onto, and also 4 from your willpower points, your WP.
So subtract 4 from a bond and WP.
Yeah. And then mark that bond got damaged so that on our next home scenes we can uncover how you projected that onto them.
How do you mark it damage?
I remember there being a thing for it. I'm trying to remember as well, though. Let me bring up your sheet.
I think it's just the checkbox.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Checkbox. Yep.
I didn't read the thing. Because, yeah,
No
I don't want to
worries.
have another sanity break.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I took D6 from Billy.
So yeah, right now
I
you're
took
kind of
6.
as a defense. You've got some kind of defense mechanism that kicks in, some kind of something that has centered you and prevented you from breaking down right now, and you're holding it together, but barely.
I feel like it's the flashlight that I snatched back
Ah.
into my hands, and I'm just like clutching it with white knuckles, just like,
I like that.
oh.
Okay, so Jane, let's go to that food.
We
Right.
have like any food for us? It's been a while. Kind
Been
of
3
hungry.
hours. Which, yeah, you can be hungry.
It's a long drive.
Sneak some fries from Jane's food.
Yeah. So go
I did
over
get
and knock
two
on
One
dishes.
Jane's
teenage
door
girl
again.
really eat.
That
what-
was saying that he got a bunch of food, right?
Yeah, I got 2 dishes because I was like, she's very hungry, so a lot of food.
Hungry. All right, so you have like 3 meals then, it sounds like. So, you get up to that door, you knock again, and once again, the deadbolt opens, but the chain does not. And you hear, like, you see the one eye peek out, like half the face in the doorway. You hear, should you bring food? Please, I'm hungry.
We got food this time. Here you go. He gives her the burger and fries first.
She closes the door slightly to get the chain undone, and then when you go to hand over the food, she swings the door open wider, and you can see that Jane Allen is extremely pregnant.
Oh.
Like very, very pregnant. She appears to be she appears to be like 6 or 7 months pregnant.
So,
But nobody said anything about her or Billy having a kid.
Correct.
I would definitely ask her how long it's been because we saw the note on the computer that said 3 weeks equals 6 months.
So you go
Oh,
inside.
shit.
She like takes the food from you and just goes to the bed, sits down on it, and just starts just cramming food in her face. Like she just takes the burger and like takes a chomp out of it that like she's like kind of forcing the food into her mouth almost, and chomps like halfway, like to the halfway point of the burger, and she's just like stuffing fries in her face, and she's like no care at all for how she looks right now. She's just ravenous. So she does not respond to your question at first, or she tries to say a few things while she's eating, and she's kind of like there's kind of tears. She's crying while she eats, and she's trying to talk, and it's just not working. So she holds off and just keeps eating.
So what day is it today?
Friday the 17th.
Okay.
Oh yeah, with the red, this is definitely looking like a crazy person board, and it's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so based on our timeline, it hasn't been quite that long. So this happened before Billy went missing? As if
What happened, to be clear?
So if 3 weeks equals 6 months, and Billy disappeared on September 5th, right? Or
yes, he went missing on the 5th.
okay, so he went missing after whatever presumably happened to her.
Well, so they were on a date on the 9th. Or
Yeah.
in that time period, they were on a date.
Yeah.
So Billy went missing the first time on the 5th, and then came back in pain, went to the doctor, all that. Then killed his
and then
father.
he ran
on the
away
9th.
again on the 9th. Yeah.
Yep.
And he went sleepwalking at some indeterminate time before all of that.
Yes, that was him going missing on the 5th.
Okay. Jane, anything you want to tell us in between those bites? After a couple more minutes of letting her eat.
So you discuss a few things, you let her eat, and after a few minutes she appears like she's slowed down her eating enough. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I just I'm so hungry ever since this happened. Yeah,
Can you tell
so
us how this
you
happened?
can see
This is pretty big.
I don't know. I don't know. Listen, it's Billy's. It's Billy's, and it's not. It wouldn't have been that long ago, but this happened in just a couple weeks. That's not normal. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so what happened on your last date with him? What happened, I guess, on the night that this gestures at her happened?
I mean, it didn't happen all at once. I suppose. Well, she gets a little awkward. I suppose it would have started about a month ago, but it's been a few weeks, and now it's this is much farther. I don't know. The first few weeks, it didn't seem that different. I was just hungrier, and sick. But now after. Oh, I don't know. It's gotten bad very quickly.
What happened the last time you saw Billy?
Well, at that point, I didn't know what was going on yet. And we went on a date at the country bunker. And then, Billy was clearly irritated, but yeah, I was trying to calm him down and do something nice, to go out to eat, and I don't know. He was in so much pain. He couldn't explain why, and then he went missing. I haven't heard from him in a while.
What happened? How did the date end?
He seemed really distracted. 'Cause he's, like he said, he was probably in a lot of pain. I don't know why, but something weird. And then he had to go home. I don't know. We were gonna maybe go out to the reservoir, but he just wasn't feeling up to it, and he went home. He went to his place.
Well, but he didn't like pick a fight with you or anything like that. He was just kind of.
He was
on edge.
irritated, but not angry. No.
Did he say anything in particular?
That it hurt.
Okay, that tracks.
I don't know.
Do you
It
know
was
what's going on with your father? Why nobody's come out of City Hall? None of the aldermen have been seen. It's clear he hadn't been home for a while based on what Hematite and Hunter
I mean,
said.
he just works a lot. They're busy. Tax season or something.
When was the last time you saw him?
She seems to think about that really hard. I don't know. A few months?
And your mom, how would you describe her?
Well, she's very nice. She's always been supportive.
Would forgetful come to mind, or is that unusual?
Maybe a little forgetful lately.
Did that start at the same time as your dad started working more?
I don't know. It's not like some day she just woke up and she was forgetful. I don't know. I just noticed a pattern lately. I guess I couldn't put a date on it.
Okay, well, you've been really helpful.
Are you working with Mr. Adams? You know where he is?
I am. I can look up to Mr. Adams and consider him a peer. I was really looking forward to a chance to see him, but I haven't been able to find him yet.
Okay, I don't know what's wrong, but he hasn't come to deliver food in a few days, and I just ran out today, and he was delivering me so much food. He's been very helpful. I heard he was in town, and this is also weird. She just gestures at her belly, and I don't know. He deals in weird shit. I figured he could, I don't know, help.
We also deal with some weird shit, and we are going to put you in contact with someone we think might be able to help you and see if we can help ease the unexpected and speed of this.
Do you remember the last time Billy had a sleepwalking incident? And after that, did you notice anything different about him?
Well, by sleepwalking, you mean those rumors going around?
Yeah, the lost time, I guess is what people are calling it here.
Yeah, he was talking about something like that a few weeks ago. But that was during that time when he was all weird and didn't feel right and irritated, and he didn't bring it up much.
Did you remember anything different about his appearance or the way he looked?
No, I guess he was kind of, like I said, he didn't have his usual, like, emotional self. He wasn't like, you know, life was always hard on Billy, but he always pushed back and saw the best in things, but I don't think he was seeing anything good at that point.
So he had no scars on him or anything?
Scars? No. What kind of... What scars? No.
Well, he's currently in the hospital right now, and they've found a lot of scars on him, so was just wondering if you saw the same thing.
God. Is he gonna be okay?
Oh, he's okay. He's stable.
God.
He's resting. We have him in very good hands right now, and that's
Okay.
why we can get you into good hands and hopefully
Okay.
help you as much as we can.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll be able to get you to see Billy.
She starts to dig into the second meal you brought. I'm sorry, I'm just so hungry.
Have you heard anything from Kyle or any of other Billy
Kyle,
friends of yours?
no, not in a few weeks.
Okay.
I don't know. We were never that close, I guess.
We went down to the reservoir to try and find him, but one of the kids there said Kyle wasn't feeling too good and decided to stay home. Is that unusual?
I mean, it's the place to be, but it's not like everyone goes every time. If he's sick, I guess.
Alright. I'm gonna
I
step
don't know.
out to make
I guess knowing Kyle a little bit, though, it's like, he would never be the type to let you know he wasn't feeling well, you know, inside in his head. He'd probably make up some excuse like that, like, you know, just not feeling well without specifying. That sounds like something he'd do.
Sorry, I just completely spaced.
She speculated that it may be a mental health not feeling good that he was talking about and didn't want to specify because it would make him, like, less macho or whatever.
Well, thanks for letting me know. I have to step out to make a phone call. But,
Okay.
We'll be back in a sec.
Thank you for the food, and thank you for... Am I gonna go to the hospital where Billy is?
I'm
Maybe.
not sure.
Okay, I hope so.
We'll at least be able to arrange a meeting between the two of you, hopefully. Not sure when, but at some point soon.
Okay, good. This is so overwhelming. She just gestures at her belly again. I don't know what we're... I didn't even know this was happening a few weeks ago, and now it's so close to being... I need to see Billy.
Of course. I am going to step out and call our friendly.
All right.
Agent Derringer, I think?
Yes.
Yep. Derringer.
We've got a situation.
Figured as much.
We also have a cleanup that needs to be done.
Got one dead body missing a suspicious lump on the head.
God, okay.
Oh, the lump is probably still in there.
The lump might still be in there, might be a parasite of some sort.
Excuse me, what do you mean the lump? Oh, it might be a parasite. Oh God, okay. Listen, if we're gonna send up a cleanup crew, you need to take care of that first. You all are the specialists in these situations. I can't send my men in there who have no idea what this stuff is.
Yes.
By the time they get there, it'll be cleaned up.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing is we found Billy's girlfriend. She is roughly a month pregnant, but looks like she's 6 months pregnant, and the child is Billy's.
Oh, okay, that's not right. Yeah.
No, but she's gonna need some specialized medical attention.
Yes.
We want to make sure we want her to survive this if at all possible.
We'll get her to Dr. Collins as well.
Okay. And
he's a friendly doctor I know of that could help with this stuff.
if there's any way she could see Billy for a few minutes, she's worried about him as well. Kind of panicky.
Yep.
Eat like 3 meals right now.
Okay, she's eating a lot. Interesting.
Yeah, the dead body we found was her food supply, and
Oh,
it's a couple
God.
days old.
Okay.
What a
We'll
bizarre
keep an eye on
incident.
her, and if at all
She's-
possible, we'll make sure they get together. Just, it's whatever the doctor says. We gotta take this thing cautiously.
Of course, yeah. I don't want her holed up in a motel room scared all by herself.
Yeah, I appreciate the advice. We'll come and get her. Where are you at?
I will rattle off the address.
All right.
Yeah, we're also gonna stay here and do some more investigating because there's a lot more happening in this town than just an awkward pregnancy.
I will convey that and say we will get on dealing with whatever's in the room with the body.
All right. You do that, and well, we'll get an ambulance out there for her tonight. She'll get picked up, and we want to take care of this as soon as possible.
Okay. Just as a heads up, the mom is spaced out or potentially high as a kite, and the dad has not been home from work in weeks. It's
Well,
tax
that's
season
weird.
here.
No, it's not.
That's what they keep saying, though.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. I have a meeting with the head alderman tomorrow at noon.
Right. Okay.
I will let you know. I think he's up to it and I think he's a huge part of this, but I don't want to throw him under the bus until I know for sure.
Yeah. Good to talk to the local authorities. They might have good information. Just
He also
Be really
owns
careful.
half the town.
yes. Just be careful if those covers we provided you. They'll hold up to a cursory examination, but if anyone goes digging deep, it could be a problem.
Got it.
All right.
The way things are moving, I don't think they'll have time to dig deep.
Understood. Well, good work out there, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Click.
I will hang up and go back in.
And once we're on the phone or off the phone, I would probably bring it up to Hematite that all 6 of the aldermans never go home.
Well, I only saw the one, Jane's father. He kept insisting the rest were busy, but I never saw them.
Yeah, we found a note on Scott's computer that I can show you all later, but there was some very alarming stuff in it. And I
Like-
assume the crop circles was what Hallow was investigating.
Oh, you saw that.
Well, yeah, there was a note on the computer. Was that the person that Hallow was talking to?
Yes,
probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say let's go sit with Jane until the ambulance gets here, and then we can go deal with the parasite.
And after that, we can go investigate a creepy church.
Yeah.
Because the picture I had of the parasite got stolen.
That's okay for right now.
Well, did they steal the picture of the lump or the broken lump?
The one with the lump. So all I have now is a picture of a guy with a hole in his head.
Yeah, don't show that to anyone. It's pretty disturbing.
Yeah, I'll not do that.
Presumably, all of this conversation is definitely happening outside of earshot of Jane.
Yes, because we have not told her that her friend is dead.
Right. Probably outside of the motel room. She's still eating.
Yeah. All right. I've got some bats and things. Last I saw, the growth it was still in the bathroom, and I kind of plugged it, so batter up.
I would go around the back to check the window.
Okay. It is plugged up with like socks, as described before, like because Scott Adams sort of blocked every window.
Okay, so there would be no change from what I saw before.
Yeah, same as you saw before.
All right, and then I would convey that and say, doesn't seem like it got out the window.
All right.
All right, so Hollow will crack the door if he's got a couple of other armed agents with him.
All
I
right.
would have my trusty dusty flashlight clicked on.
Flashlight and gun, that kind of combo.
No, just my flashlight.
Okay, because it is dark in
I'm
here, so that's
better-
very helpful.
I'm better at punching things.
Yeah, because now that it's night out, all the light bulbs in this room were still taken out, including in the bathroom. So it's dark in there, and shining the light in definitely helps. So you crack open the door, the flashlight hitting the bloody water on the floor. You see the tub, the body's still in the tub, the head hasn't changed, and the water is very still. The bathroom appears unchanged from how you left it. But you can
Are
only
any
see
of the ceiling tiles moved?
shine the flashlight up there. No, it looks normal.
There's no evidence around any of the vents or anything?
Nope, looks pretty normal. I mean, normal as far excuse me, as normal as a bathroom barricaded up by a crazy person filled with blood in the body can look.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I would like to do a quick examination of High Tide's head.
Of High Tide's head. Okay. An examination of his head in a medical sense?
And make sure the parasite didn't already join with him.
Oh, I see. That kind of sense. I feel like that's probably something medical.
I do
There's
not
first
have
aid.
medicine.
So maybe it would be pretty hard for you to figure that out. I will say, at a
Okay.
cursory glance, without any roll necessary, the picture Hallow has of the guy's head with the lump on it, the lump was like gray and had no hair on it and was like a completely different texture than the rest of the person. And
I was
High Tide
the
does
only
not
one who
appear.
saw that.
No, Agent Hollow got a picture of it.
Yes, and you
Yeah,
saw
it
the
was-
picture of it.
But the one with the lump was taken, so I was the only one that saw that.
Yes.
Oh, true. It might have been described to you though. But yeah.
Probably.
But yeah, no, you look over his head real quick, and I'll just say without a roll, because if you don't have any like medically applicable skills, it doesn't appear out of the ordinary.
Are there
Also,
any
it's dark.
footprints in the blood that like lead somewhere?
I mean, Hollow probably left a couple footprints earlier, but it's nothing like crazy.
Yeah. Hollow will disturb the surface of the water and blood mixture with his bat. Just gonna slosh it a little bit.
All right. So you've got your gun out. Do you kind of slosh the? You had a bat out. Did anyone else have a gun out?
I'm gonna have pulled like all the sheets off whatever room was most accessible with like bed sheets, and I'm just like ready to throw them over something that moves, like it's a like snarling animal that just
Okay.
needs to be smothered up.
So you've got that. High Tide has a flashlight. Hollow, is it just a
Yeah.
bat you're holding?
I've got a bat and a pistol
And a pistol.
on
okay.
my side. I don't want to discharge the pistol because Jane is next door, but
Yeah. And what does Hematite got?
Hematite doesn't really have. I mean, she's got her purse with some mace in it, because she always has that. Otherwise, she's better at unarmed combat than firearms or melee weapons.
Yeah, so do you have a firearm with you? Sorry. Didn't sound like it, but
No.
okay.
I
So-
would probably have a knife, but I would resort to punching before using the knife.
So, you're all looking at this tub. It's hard for all of you to be in or near this bathroom, so some of you might be outside. Do you all just pack into the bathroom around the tub?
So
I'm gonna be
Hallow's
outside the door.
All right.
Yeah, I think seeing Hunter back there with the sheet, what Hallow will try to do is like bait whatever it is out of it so that we can grab it with the sheet and just start beating it with the bat.
All
Yeah, I
right.
would probably be around the door, like holding the flashlight up and just shining it in the room.
So you're in, yeah. And so after we've got a better description of the scene here, Agent Hollow goes to disturb the water with the bat. It's kind of hit the surface a little bit, shift it a little bit, try to make some waves or something. And Agent Hollow, please give me a dodge roll.
Okay. Where's my dodge?
I'll say this is at
There it
minus
is.
20% because it's dark in here and the flashlight's your only light.
Oh, good.
Okay, so you only had a 10% chance. Unfortunately, it did not work out for you. So you're standing there, you poke the water, and at first it seems like nothing happened. The water starts to return to stillness. You're still just trying to figure out, give it a second to see if anything happens. And then all of a sudden, something shoots up out of the water at a very high speed. It's hard to track in the light that you have available in here. You know how your vision kind of gets a little bit blurred in the dark, trying to track things moving quickly. That kind of thing happens, but it's this fleshy, almost silvery substance arcs up out of the tub like a tentacle, and it reaches into the barrel of your gun. And it just kind of coils up into there and then like splits the top of the gun, like the what do you even call that? The rack of the gun just pops that right off. And like the parts of the gun start to come apart as it wriggles inside and bursts open, and your gun is destroyed. And there's this just silvery, fleshy, like it looks fleshy, but it almost has like a metallic sheen to it, just kind of rising up out of the tub, and then it plops onto the floor, and like little tentacles and spikes are poking out of it in different directions, and it's clearly like reaching out pseudopods around it to cling to things and to try to strike out at you. And we'll pick up from there. Well, before we pick up from there next time, sanity checks for everybody.
Even if we're not directly looking at it?
I mean, as long as you saw it at all, which I assume, yeah. Unless anyone wants to like avert their eyes or something, that's fine. But that means you won't be able to see it coming for you, so it'll be hard.
Well, would we... I assume the sheet was on the door, so I don't know if...
No, Rowan or Hunter was ready to like tackle it with the sheet to like hold it, was the idea.
Oh, okay. Oh, no.
Okay. So those of you on a success, 1 sanity damage. Those of you on a failure, 1d6.
No!
Oh no.
Oh, this poor guy. Oh, no.
shit!
That's
Would you
not
like-
good.
Would you like to project onto your bond, sir?
Oh, definitely! So roll a d4?
That's right.
I mean, I still take at least 2.
True.
2.
I take 4.
Yep. So we'll get to what that means for you, what break you'll pick, and all that stuff next time. You guys have just entered combat with something. You don't know
Oh,
what
no.
it is.
So does that mean I
Good.
project 2 onto a bond and lose 2 more WP?
Yes.